faithfully delivering value, interpreting great books from around the world. Hi, this is Sally's Book Talk. Today we're diving into the book, The Origin of Place Names in Hubei. Hubei province is in central China, named Hubei because it's north of Domting Lake. Hubei has always been a land of talent and beauty, with world-famous sites like the Three Gorges, Wudang Mountain, Shennongjia, and Yellow Crane Tower. And the famous people from Hubei, oh, there are so many more. From ancient figures like Kui Yuan, Li Shizhen, and Meng Huran to modern heroes like astronaut Ni Hushen, Shimi founder Lei Jin, and 360 CEO Zhou Hongyi, all hail from Hubei. Looking at the map, Hubei has 13 prefecture-level units, 12 cities and 1 autonomous prefecture, plus over 100 county-level units. When you see these place names, do you ever wonder how they came to be? Actually, place names stem from real history, folk tales, and natural landscape records. The book, The Origin of Place Names in Hubei, gives you a fresh angle to uncover hidden stories, so you can really get to know Hubei and its culture. The chief editor, Ren Yangxin, is the party secretary and general manager of China Post Group's Hubei branch. To promote Hubei culture and standardize place names, he spearheaded this book's creation. All right, next I'll cover the origin of Hubei place names from 2 perspectives: history, humanities, and natural landscapes. First, let's chat about place names tied to history. Speaking of Hubei's history, we can't skip the once thriving Chu state over 2 millennia ago. As a powerhouse in the spring and autumn and warring states eras, Chu ruled much of the Yangtze Basin with the largest territory among states, and its heart was modern-day Hubei, where you still feel the enduring Chu culture. But oddly, not one Hubei city name includes the character Chu. Don't sweat it if you can't find Chu. Just look for another character instead. That's Jing, like in bearing thorns to apologize. Jing is a type of plant. The commentary on Zhuzhuan in the Spring and Autumn Annals says, Jing and Chu are 2 names for the same plant, just different labels for one thing. So, the Chu state is also called Jing state, hence Chu culture is known as Jingchu culture. Speaking of this, we have to mention Jingzhou when it comes to names with Jing. The name Jingzhou actually has quite a history. In the Tribute of You chapter of the Classic of Documents, China was divided into 9 regions, and Jingzhou was one of them. That is to say, the place name Jingzhou dates back to the era of Yu the Great controlling the floods. However, back then, Jingzhou wasn't a city name like it is today. It referred to a broader region, roughly covering today's Hubei and Hunan provinces. Most of southern China back then was undeveloped wilderness with a backward economy, so people used Jing to refer to this area. The Jingzhou we talk about now is a prefecture-level city in southern Hubei, a famous historical and cultural city in China. It was the capital of the Chu state during the spring and autumn period, then called Yingdu. Starting from the Han Dynasty, Yangdu was renamed Jiangling. In Li Bai's poem, Departing from Baidi in the Morning Clouds, the line, 1,000 li to Jiangling returned in a day, refers to today's Jingzhou. So, in Jingzhou, there's a county named Jiangling County, and further north in Hubei, there's another city called Jingmen. Jingmen means the gate to Jingzhou. To reach Jingzhou city from the Central Plains, you must pass through this gate, which is actually 2 mountains facing each other. Jingmen Mountain is in the east, Huyan Mountain in the west, with peaks standing opposite each other like a natural gate. Thus, the ancient city of Jingmen north of these mountains got its name. As the old saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day, and the growth of the Chu state didn't happen overnight. The earliest territory of Chu state was only around today's Jingzhou. Later, it annexed over 40 small neighboring states to gain vast territory. Although the small states annexed by Chu perished, Many modern place names in Hubei still bear traces of those ancient states. For example, north of Jingmen, there's Suizhou, where the character Sui originates from the ancient Sui clan. Suizhou is the birthplace of Yandi Shennong, the progenitor of Chinese civilization. Suizhou borders Henan and was the location of the Sui state during the Warring States period. The Sui state had a ruler named Marquis Yi of Zheng. What he's most famous for is the set of bronze bells unearthed from his tomb, the largest, heaviest, and best preserved musical instruments in the world. The Marquis Yi of Zheng's Bianzan bells. Since Sui state was on the critical route from Chu northward to the Central Plains, it couldn't escape conquest during the tumultuous spring and autumn period. However, place names like Suizhou and its Zhengdu and Suishan counties remain, preserving this history. Additionally, Suishou was the fiefdom of Emperor Wen of Sui, the founder of the Sui dynasty. The dynasty's name, Sui, originated here. Legend says Emperor Wen disliked the Azhu radical in Swang and created the new character Wen. Anyway, even with Suizhou's exquisite bells, it couldn't rival Jingzhou's status back then. This lasted from the spring and autumn period through the Three Kingdoms era. Jingzhou remained Hubei's most prosperous place. You've probably heard Jingzhou mentioned often in Romance of the Three Kingdoms as the strategic prize for Wei, Shu, and Wu. Jingzhou appears in 72 of the novel's 120 chapters, more than any other city. The second most mentioned city is also in Hubei, Hanyang, located in northern Hubei near Wei's capital, Xicheng. Xinjiang was mostly under Cao Cao's control. Yet in this very city, Cao Cao suffered a crushing defeat. The famous Battle of Shangfan happened here in 2019 AD. Here, Guan Yu flooded 7 armies and routed Cao Cao, though Shanyang had already existed for over a millennium before the Three Kingdoms. Ancient Chinese named places. Yang meant south of mountains or north of rivers. The Book of Han's geography records Shenyang got its name by lying south of the Shang River. Visitors to Shenyang see the Han River flowing through the city. Many mistake the Shang River for the Han. It's actually a smaller tributary, now buried under modern development. Today, it's completely vanished. While Cao Cao had ties to Hubei, his rival Liu Bei left a deeper mark, including place names, like Gong'an County in Jingzhou, named after Liu Bei's title, General of Public Security, though unrelated to modern policing. In the Han Dynasty, Dong'an was called Chanling County, Chan meaning weak, not imposing at all. But after Liu Bei stationed troops here, everything changed. As general of the left, he was honored as Lord Zuo, and since he camped here, the place got its name. Today, Gong'an is known for its food, the most famous being Gong'an beef buns. Delicious and beloved, they're hailed as the Prince of Buns. After Cao Cao and Liu Bei, let's discuss Sun Quan and his Eastern Wu. At the famous Battle of Red Cliffs, the Sun-Lu alliance crushed Cao's forces, cementing the Three Kingdoms era. Historians have proposed at least 7 possible locations for the actual Battle of Red Cliffs. But recent archaeological findings mostly place it in Puqi, Hubei. Pu as in cattail, Qi meaning shore, written as 2 plus bin. The name Puqi was used for 1800 years. Legend says Sun Quan established Puqi County here after his victory at Red Cliffs. The county government was set on a shore overgrown with cattails, hence the name. But Puqi wasn't a fierce or memorable name, so it stayed obscure. In 1998, Puqi City was renamed Chibi City and instantly gained fame. Actually, Sun Quan named more than Puqi, like Wuchang, though during the Three Kingdoms it wasn't in Wuhan but Ezhou. On the map, Ezhou is in eastern Hubei, with its west bordering Wuhan. Like Suzhou we mentioned, Ezhou's history traces back to the the spring and autumn period, originally the territory of Yi State. The Yi State was originally in Shanxi, named after the Yi clan, but after being conquered by Jin, part migrated to modern Izhou, keeping the name. After Chu conquered Yi State, the Chu king infected his son there and built the King Yi's city. By the Three Kingdoms era, Wu State built King Wu's city on its foundation, making it Eastern Wu's first capital. King Wu's city was also called Wuchang City, meaning prosper through martial prowess. As Wu State valued martial spirit then, but later moved its capital to Jianye, modern Nanjing, Wuchang became the secondary capital. So ancient Wuchang and modern Wuchang, one of Wuhan's three towns, are different places. The beloved Wuchang fish everyone enjoys, its actual origin isn't Wuhan, it's Ezhou. So some might ask, where exactly is today's Wuchang? Modern Wuchang was anciently called Jingsha County, Jiang for river, Xia for summer. After the Six Dynasties period, its strategic location fueled growth. On the map, ancient Jiangsha, today's Wuchang, sits south of the Han-Yangtze confluence, a water transport hub facing Hangzhou and Hanyang across the river. Transport was crucial then, like modern rail or air hubs. In the Tang Dynasty, military forces shifted from Wuchang to more strategic Jiangsha, which gradually adopted the name Wuchang. Thus emerged two Wuchangs, called Upper and Lower for their positions along the Yangtze. If Jingzhou was Hubei's liveliest city from Spring-Autumn to Three Kingdoms eras, the Wuchangs replaced it afterward, both under Izhou administration, hence Hubei's abbreviation Yi. Upper Wuchang eventually evolved into modern Wuhan. In Ming-Qing dynasties, Wuhan was central China's most prosperous, hailed as Oriental Chicago, and the Wuchang uprising ended imperial rule. So today, Wuchang instantly recalls Wuhan's district. Few remember Izhou's Wuchang. Earlier, we mentioned Hubei's war-torn history. Its people longed for peace. As many Hubei place names embody hopes for tranquility. Like Xianing, bordering Hunan and Jiangxi, called Hubei's Southern Gateway. In Tang Dynasty, Xianing was named Yong'an. In Song Dynasty, drawing from the I Ching's All Nations at Peace, it became Xinang-Xian, meaning all. Both Yong'an and Xianing express yearning for harmony. Like another place, Yicheng. Hubei's Yicheng. Many first think of its modern Three Gorges Dam. Actually, Yicheng has a long history. It's the hometown of Kwa Yuan from the Warring States period. In ancient times, Yicheng was called Yiling, Yi meaning to pacify danger, Ling meaning hills. Legend says the name Yuling comes from commentary on the water classic. Water's calm here, mountains become hills, meaning the Yangtze flows gently and peaks turn low. It wasn't until the Qing dynasty that Yiling became Yicheng, carrying hopes for prosperity. Yicheng was renamed in Qing times, like another Hubei place, Enshi. Enshi's full name is Enshi Tujia Dash, Miao Autonomous Prefecture, mostly mountainous, home to ethnic groups since antiquity. Enshi was originally Shizhou, named after a man surnamed Si, who declared himself King Shi here in late Eastern Jin. Later generations called it Shizhou, and from Yuan dynasty, the Tusi system began here. The Tusi system meant appointing local chieftains for governance. These chieftains weren't imperial appointees, but locally elected leaders, easing administration. In Qing dynasty, Emperor Yongzhen renamed Shizhou to Enshi, bestowing grace, to pacify the region. Earlier we discussed Hubei place origins tied to war and peace throughout history. As Chinese say, a nation needs both country, and family. Place names reflect this too. Next is a place embodying family warmth, Shogun. Xiogin is a prefecture-level city northwest of Wuhan. Its name means filial piety moves heaven, from Han Dynasty legends. Many know heavenly match, thinking Dongyang and Seventh Fairy's Tale is pure romance. But originally it was a story about filial devotion. Dongyang lost his mother young, fled to Hubei, Then his father died too. To bury his father, Dongyang sold himself into servitude. This moved the seventh fairy to descend, weaving cloth for a month to repay his debt. Thus began Dongyang and the fairies' romance. They met under a pagoda tree. The area was once called Huyan, shade of pagoda tree. In southern dynasties, Emperor Xiaowu renamed it Shaogan. Filial piety moves heaven to promote virtue. Beyond Dongyang's story, this region has many other tales of filial piety, like Huangsheng from the Han Dynasty, warming the quilt, Mengzong weeping for bamboo shoots, all classic stories from China's 24 filial exemplars. All right, that concludes part one on historical place names in Hubei. Hubei's names bear witness to centuries of conflict while embodying people's longing for peace. Beyond its history, Hubei has stunning mountains and waters too. Next, part two, place names inspired by natural landscapes. Let's start with Huanggang in easternmost Hubei. One theory says Huanggang got its name from Huanggang Mountain, though many associate it with the famous Huanggang High School. Not only are their exams notoriously tough, but their college admission rates are astonishingly high. Dig into history and you'll find deep roots. Huanggang was anciently called Huanzhou, where Su Dongpo was exiled. Here, Su Dongpo wrote masterpieces like Memories of the Past at Red Cliff and his Red Cliff Process. But he wasn't at the real Red Cliff battlefield, just a similar Red Cliff. Near Huanggang City, it's now called Literary Red Cliff or Don Po's Red Cliff to distinguish it. South of Huanggang lies another yellow city, Huangshi. America has Yellowstone Park, yellow from volcanic sulfur, but Hubei's Huangshi, no volcanoes here. Huangshi got its name from copper ore in the mountains. Though small, Huangshi was Hubei's second largest economy in the 1950s, thanks to copper, iron mining, and heavy industry. Its metallurgy tradition runs deep, even reflected in place names, like Dai County under Huangshi, Great Smelting, where bronze casting began in the Shang Dynasty. Besides Huanggang and Huangshi, eastern Hubei has many yellow names, Hangmei, Hanpi, and more. Even Wuhan's famous Yellow Crane Tower has yellow in its name, showing Hubei's connection to this color. The part of this traces back to the spring and autumn period. Eastern Hubei did have a Hong state, and yellow represents color, but don't overthink if it's primary yellow or not. The I Ching says, dark heaven, yellow earth. Yellow symbolizes soil and nobility in place names. The yellow crane and yellow crane tower might not be literally yellow, but it's definitely a noble, transcendent crane. Central Hubei has another key city named after mountains, Tianmen, from its Tianmen Mountain. Over a dozen famous Tianmen mountains exist nationwide, like Zhangjiayi's in Hunan, Wuhu's in Anhui, all named for peaks resembling Heaven's Gate. But only Hubei's Tianmen Mountain named a city. Tianmen is also tea sage Lu Yu's hometown, birthplace of global tea culture. Of course, Western Hubei has the tallest peaks. Shennongding Summit, Hubei's highest at 3,105.4 meters. Not just Hubei's highest, it's central China's tallest peak in Shennongjia Forestry District, China's only county-level unit named Forestry District. The legend says Shennongjia is where ancient Shennong stored medicinal herbs, still mostly pristine with 5,000 plus species and rumors of wild men. Now, adventurers flock here searching for wild men, shrouding the area in mystery. After mountains, let's discuss water, named cities. The Yangtze and Han rivers gave Hubei many place names, like Wuhan's Hanyang, Hangku, and Shaogan's Hanchuan, all named after the Han River. The Han River starts in Shanxi, flows into the Yangtze in Hubei. It's the Yangtze's largest tributary by drainage area. So why call it Han River? Turns out, the night sky has a great Milky Way. Ancients called it Silver Han, meaning vast. The celestial river is boundless, and the earthly Han mirrors its grandeur, hence the name. The Han River's main channel meets the Yangtze in Wuhan, but it's not the only connection. A tributary of the Han and Yangtze rivers flows secretly through Qianzhang into the Yangtze. That's how Qianzhang got its name. Qianzhang takes its meaning from the Han River emerges secretly, meaning here the Han River has a waterway that quietly flows into the Yangtze. Hubei has not just rivers but many lakes too. Mention Hubei lakes and you might recall Honghu Waters, that song about waves lapping waves. Yes, today's Honghu city is named after its Honghu Lake, but ancient Jianghan Plain had a larger lake, Yunmeng Marsh. Tang poet Meng Haoran's verse, Mist Steams Yunlong Marsh, Wave Shake Yuyang, captures that massive lake's grandeur. Back then, nearly the entire Jianghan Plain to Yuyang belonged to Yunmeng Marsh, a vast wetland kingdom. But Yangtze or Han Silt turned lakes into fertile plains, leaving only smaller lakes like Honghu. Yet, Hubei still has a place we're calling that mighty lake, Yunmeng County. This ancient county name has over 1,400 years of history. Ancient Human County bordered Yunmeng Marsh. Another water-named city is Xi'an in northwest Hubei. Xi'an, you might know it as the Motor City, making Dongfeng trucks, with sacred Taoist Wudong Mountain. But ever wonder how Xi'an got its name? A weir is like an ancient Three Gorges project, not just a dam but also diverts water for irrigation. Same naming principle as Chengdu's Dujianyan. Ancient weirs and stone channels built here gave us 10 weirs, Xi'an. Hubei has place names combining numbers and landscapes. Besides Xi'an and the Three Gorges, there's Wufing County under Wuchang, named simply because it has 5 peaks. Ancient Chinese naming was that straightforward. Besides landscapes, some names come from plants, like Qichen County under Honggang, Li Shizhen's hometown, also plant named. The character Qi has grass radical, abas ray, a top single don plus G. In ancient times, it meant celery. Clearly, celery was beloved here, but beyond Qichen, some Hubei place names might make foodies drool. Like Huangmei, Shantao, Zhouyang, we won't over-explain their meanings. While you munch on dried plums, ponder it yourself. That concludes part 2, names for mountains, lakes, and plants. And like cities themselves, place names transform over time. We've mentioned ancient Hubei name changes earlier. Part 3 explores recent city renamings in Hubei. First, mergers. Ancient rivers were too wide for bridges. Banks merely kilometers apart struggled with energy and goods transport. Now, bridges and tunnels enable mergers, a growing trend. Modern Wuhan merged 3 towns, Wuchang, Hankou, Hanyang. Taking one character from each Wu plus Han, it's a renaming success story. That are all such merged names successful? Not necessarily. Let's examine 2 cases. First, Shenyang. In the 1950s, it merged with Fancheng across the river, becoming Shanfan. But Shengfan never resonated like historic Shenyang. People forgot its legacy. So in 2010, it reverted to Shenyang. Jingzhou faced similar issues. From 1994 to 1996, Jingzhou merged with Shashi, briefly called Jinsha City, another failed rename. This name lasted just 2 years before reverting to Jingzhou. Why did Shenyang or Jingzhou revert? Their names weren't just labels. They're historical symbols etched in public memory. Ultimately, both mergers succeeded. Only the names reverted. Hubei also saw city mergers, where forced unions didn't last, like 2 cities that couldn't coexist and split apart. In the 1950s, modern Enshi was called Eicheng, while Huanggang was Hangzhou. Separated by just a river, they merged in 1983 and renamed as Yijiao. But it didn't last. By 1987, they split amicably. Yizhou remained, while Hangzhou became a district under Honggang. Of course, modern renamings aren't just mergers, sometimes pure name changes. Like Hong'an County, under Honggang, called Hong'an before 1952. It was renamed as a revolutionary base, home to figures like Dong Biwu and Li Shanyan. with over 60 founding generals from Hanyang renaming to Hong'an, Red Peace, boosted red tourism. We mentioned Phuket becoming Chibi, reviving an ancient name boosted tourism and sparked a retro trend. But is reviving old names always good? That's debatable. Take Shantou, home to Olympic champions like Li Daxuan, Li Shaoxuan, and Yang Wei, dubbed gymnastics capital. Actually, Xiantao was historically Mianyang, Mian River being an alternate name for the Han River. Named for being north of the Mayan River, some find Xiantao, fairy peach, tacky, and want the historic name back. But the character Mia is obscure. Many can't read or write it easily, so renaming's impact on development needs careful thought. Modern city renaming is like unfolding history, complex and fascinating. Historical renamings offer lessons. To rename or not, don't rush, weigh it carefully. That concludes the main content of The Origin of Place Names in Hubei. As they say, better to travel 10,000 miles than read 10,000 books. Come explore Hubei, walk its cities, feel their unique history and beauty, and soak in each place's distinct charm. All right, that's our journey through the origins of Hubei place names. You'll find reading notes below the audio. See you tomorrow.